Some people don't like plays. They find them slow, too wordy, too focused on emotion over action. Plays demand patience. They ask you to sit still, to listen, to feel. And for some folks, that's just not their thing, and that's okay. But me, I love plays. I love the silence, the tension, the way a line can hang in the air and you can hear the audience breathe, gasp. That's why I adore South of Midnight, because this game is a play. It is telling a story, a heavy, sad, painful story. It's about trauma. It's about the past, actions, and all types of shit that's really sad. It's discomforting. All right, I can't express that enough. I've actually withdrawn my recommendation to some people because I know this will make them extremely sad. As much as I would love for them to play it, they probably shouldn't because of their own emotional state, because of their own views on the experience of gaming, which for a lot of people is just dopamine hits, fun hits, joy. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that completely. This game is sad, guys. Okay, I want you to understand that. But me, I loved it. I have the stomach for a sad and traumatic experience. I've been looking for this game for a very long time, and it did what it needed to do. All right, let's get into it. You play as Hazel, a young girl whose home was swept away in a violent storm. And immediately you start to realize that this is way more than surviving a storm. This is about uncovering what was really already broken beneath the surface. As Hazel is searching for her mother, she unravels a deeper history, one tied to the land, the people, and most importantly, her own family. You're not just hearing stories, you're walking through them, you're feeling them. This is a deeply personal narrative, layered with generational pain, stigma, and silence. Hazel is a weaver, someone who can see and do things that others can't. Her magic isn't anything flashy. It's about perception, really, and about understanding, which makes sense because this game is about confronting trauma. You're not just fighting random enemies. You are quite literally dismantling wounds, uprooting what's been buried, and actually healing the landscape. Now listen, if you're going to set your story in the Deep South, you better get the voice right. There is a rhythm to the way folks talk down there, and musicality to it, to be honest. The slang, the cadence, the word choice, it all has to feel real. Otherwise, I'm not playing the game anymore. Let me tell you.
If you ring that bell, he might skedaddle.
You better not skedaddle.
Go on now, scoot. I'll pick you up yonder after to go find your mom.
Trifling ass mudcat.
Hey, I heard that.
South of Midnight nails it. The dialogue in this game is so good. It's believable, it's specific, and most importantly, it's human, right? It makes sense. I don't know how those people down in Canada understood what was going on, right? They did a really good job, and I was 100% not a believer. Hazel, our main character, fantastically written. She's got depth, vulnerability, and a little bit of bite when she needs it. And our voice actor kills it. Everybody in this game is bringing it, to be honest. The performances are really top tier. The Catfish, he might be one of my favorites. He's amazing. Give that man a monologue on a stage, I'd pay to watch it. Seriously, I would pay for this entire game to be on Broadway. Seriously, this is why I keep coming back to that play metaphor, because this game would kill as a stage production. The acting, the dialogue, the weight of the words, it's also theatrical in the best way. I can picture the spotlight, the hush in the crowd, the audience reactions of some of these extremely hard-hitting revelations. That's how strong the writing is, which also makes me kind of sad, right? Because this entire story, like I said, is a very sad story. I would have loved to experience a lot more joy with Hazel. I really love that character so much. I just wish there was a little bit of light and happiness and joy in the story. I would love to experience that with Hazel. Really, it's so much so that I consider it a criticism of mine. It's a down point in it, right? And I understand that the story that they're telling is very traumatic and deep. And there are some jokes, don't get me wrong, that I definitely laugh at. But I just wish I could experience a little bit more joy with Hazel. And another downside is the combat, right? It's not great. It's simple. It's a little clunky at times. I don't care for the camera, especially when you lock onto enemies. It's just not that good. And it doesn't really evolve as you play. But I also don't think that that's why this game was made. Look, I'm not trying to make excuses for them, right? It's just not the focus of the game. On top of that, it's kind of a small team. They're working with limited resources, and it shows. Again, not making excuses for them, but they clearly put their time and energy into the writing, the performances, the atmosphere, the story. And I truly believe that even if they had a bigger budget, I don't think they would have changed the combat that much, right? Like, it's not really meant to be the highlight. It's not trying to be flashy or deep. It's there as means to an end. Something to break up the narrative, to give you a moment of action between the emotional heavy hitters, right? Could it be better? Absolutely. But should it be like something extremely extravagant? Not really. I don't really think so. I guess it would be nice, but I don't know. It's definitely a shortcoming in my opinion, though. I will say that it's not great. And although it is short and gets your blood pumping enough that it's not like a complete dread to experience, there are times where I just want to do the story and I see an upcoming fighting section. I'm like, let me do this fighting section real quick. It's not exciting stuff. And this is where I think a lot of people will fall off from South of Midnight, right? Because it's not about the action. It is a very linear, a narrative-driven experience that isn't really difficult, and it's not trying to be. It will, quote-unquote, hold your hand. There's no open world to explore, no deep combat system. There's some leveling up, some upgrades, but they don't do anything crazy, right? There's no power fantasy to indulge in here. Almost the opposite, really. And because of that, I think a lot of people are going to check out early, and that is okay. This goes back to what I was saying earlier about plays. Some people just aren't wired for that kind of storytelling. They want freedom, they want challenge, spectacle. This game offers reflection, atmosphere, and emotional weight. That's a hard sell if you're not in the mood for it, or if you weren't expecting it. And honestly, I don't think the marketing did a good enough job to prepare people for that. The trailer showed a little bit of combat, it showed more monster, it just didn't give linear experience as much as it should. It is extremely linear. You go straight, you go forward. That's it. I believe the vibe of this game made it feel a little bit like it would be a adventure game, maybe not completely open world, but you would be exploring a little bit. There's not really any exploration at all in this game. So that is something to keep in mind. I think this is something I want to say almost like a step up from an Until Dawn, in my opinion, in my eyes, right? It is that narrative driven. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some platforming. There's obviously combat. There's a little bit more to keep a player like me interested in it. But that is something that is very important. That is a distinction that needs to be made. All right. Be wary of it. With that being said, the art direction of South of Midnight does honestly a lot of heavy lifting, right? It's beautiful, but not it's not high fidelity, right? It's not no extremely crazy visuals in that regard, not in the traditional way. But as you've seen, it has this stop motion feel to it, and because of that, the world feels stitched together, from memory and folklore. That texture, the roughness, it gives everything more emotion, more presence. You don't just see the world, you can feel it. And the soundtrack, magnificent. Shit's fire, right? It leans into that southern, gothic, the blues, the soul, all of it, just drenched in atmosphere. The music isn't just background noise, it guides the story. It has some story elements to it, directly. It adds weight to the sad moments, power to the magical ones, and a sense of history to everything you touch. The game sounds like a story that's been passed down for generations. South of Midnight won't be for everyone, and that's okay. It's not a game that's trying to please the crowd or as many people as possible. It's quiet, heavy, deliberate. It takes its time. It asks you to sit with the sorrow, to listen to stories that don't always have happy endings, to walk through trauma and healing without flinching. For some people, that's too much. For others, it's not enough. But for me, the game is everything. It's a play. Raw, poetic, character-driven. It's theater wrapped up in a southern fantasy, performed on a stage of mud, magic, and memory. Hazel's journey, the performances, the art, the music, it all came together to tell a story that I'll be thinking about for a long time. Not because it was perfect, because it was true. And if that sounds like your kind of show, take a seat. The curtain's up. If you enjoyed this review or just liked hearing a different perspective, make sure you follow. I am really doing this review shit. Reviewing games is not as easy as it sounds, man. You know, there was plenty of times where I just wanted to go play like some action-packed fun shit, you know what I'm saying? Some dopamine hitters, but I got through this game and I'm not mad. I need to see this game as a musical, right? On Broadway, but not on Broadway because I don't live in New York, but bring that play over here, you know what I'm saying, to the West Coast. And I would go see it multiple times. It's sad. It's not for everybody. I actually had to, like I said, withdraw some recommendations from some people, but just because I know it's going to make them very depressed, you know, and understandably so. But if you enjoyed it, make sure you like, follow, all that fun shit, and or subscribe because we're on YouTube. Shout out YouTube. And make sure you tap in for more video game discussions.